crowd, democracy in action. If you'll stand now for a pledge of moment of silence. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Okay, roll call, please.
Parkin?
Here.
Jewel?
Here.
Rager?
Here.
Daniel?
Present.
Christensen?
Present.
Kimco?
Here.
Ellis?
Here. Approval of minutes from December 13th, 2016, regular meeting.
Will the amendment that I sent and emailed to Sharon, will that be taken care of on the minute when it gets officially approved?
Now, without a motion.
I'd make a motion that the letter that Mayor Edwards sent to Mayor Stever and the discussion that took place be added to the minutes of December 2016.
I'd second. And that was the letter that was received at the Board of Public Works prior to me receiving it and got it a week later. So I want that noted in the minutes with the amendment. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Petitions and communications. Is Andrew Wakeman here?
So we approved the minutes? We approved the motion.
Oh, we approved the motion. Okay, it wasn't the same. Okay. We got the amendment. So now we need approval of the minutes with the amendment. Weeks? Thomas? Okay, we have a motion. Motion and a second. All in favor of the minutes being approved?
Aye.
Motion carried. Petitions and communications, public comments. Andrew Wakeman was scheduled.
Was he scheduled?
He was scheduled to update the council. He requested to be scheduled.
I thought we took care of all that last night, so I think we're good.
Okay, very good. So we'll go to John Swint on veteran housing. John, present.
John's not present, but Randy Butt is, and maybe between the two of us, we could do a little explaining what we've got going on here, see what everybody has to think about it.
Yeah, come on up. So we
Kansas
hear you.
City has a project to build a village of small, tiny homes for homeless veterans. It's on 89th Street, 1201 89th Street in Kansas City. But Larry brought to me the idea that there are some small lots in the city of Holden that are not large enough for regular-sized homes, and that these lots would be ideal for tiny homes for homeless veterans. And the idea would be to get homeless veterans here, give them a chance to become part of a community and viable citizens again, and to not only help them, but help the community of Holden.
Yeah, it was my thought that it would be a win-win situation for everybody because the community needs some occupied homes where they're vacant now, and these would be well-built homes. They're not large, they're 600 square feet, but they would accommodate a veteran, and they would be in the process of getting reacclimated, getting counseling and all of that through the VA.
And getting employment.
And help with everybody that we can get to help to employ them. And I've already talked to John Schwinn. He thinks he has the transportation issue covered. So basically, we could be doing something good for some people that deserve it.
And local veterans organizations are behind this.
Does anybody have any questions?
Are all the lots in one area of town?
I'm sorry?
Are all the lots in one area of town?
No, they're scattered.
We can't do what Kansas City does. They're actually building a village, and it's gonna have multiple homes with a community center for the veterans to go socialize and all that. And that's not where we're going with this idea.
Where does the funding come from?
The what?
The funding to do it?
We'll see.
I didn't know whether they had some kind of a plan or.
Do they
I'm
have
sure
a
that-
government matching grant, like if we have so much money, the government helps with that?
I can't answer that.
I don't know anything about their funding at this point. I did bring a copy of that project's philosophy and their organization summary. Of course, our organization will be not be this organization because their focus is a little different than what we're looking at.
And when you said transportation, were you talking about just within Holden or within a 20-mile area?
Well, they're gonna have jobs. And some of the jobs will be in town locally, and that won't require transportation for them. But if some of them get jobs in Warrensburg or elsewhere around the area, and they need transportation to it, and John also feels like he can cover that and make sure that they get to their employment.
And do we have counseling available in this area for them to meet their needs? Or do they have to go to Kansas City to get that?
They don't necessarily have to go to Kansas City. There's a VA center in Warrensburg.
Okay.
And I'm sure that center, if we had enough eligible veterans, could get counseling set up there.
Well, as a concept, it sounds okay, but it looks like we're in the really early stages,
We're in the talking stages.
talking
right now.
stages right now.
So we need to start looking towards funding sides of it, government funding and
Who would,
private funding.
somebody want this information that I brought, or,
Yeah, please leave it, or we'll distribute it to the council.
well, it's just a single copy of these.
Okay.
Larry, what were you looking at, how many properties do we have that we could build on? How many locations?
I have that. It's on the agenda later, we have an item, discussion of ordinance relating to changing square foot requirements for home construction. I've been in conversation with Eric on the number of properties, the locations, and the status of each. And so I didn't count them up, but there's several
Okay.
that would fall into this type of a arrangement. So I might address that in more detail later when we get that on the agenda.
Are they private-owned properties at this point?
They've been on the tax sale list. Some of them have been purchased, abandoned. You have to take each property case by case because each has a different scenario. And many times you can go, if they've been on the tax sale roster and they didn't sell, you can go to the courthouse, pay the fees, the back taxes, etc., and get it. And then you have to let it sit idle for 1 year or take a risk and go forward, but you risk losing your investment. It's better to wait a year, see what happens. If nobody steps forward to claim the property, pay the taxes themselves, etc., then you become the owner.
That's for the first 3 years you sell. After the third year you sell, you have the option to go straight for a quick deed.
Right, but you can get it after 1 year.
A quick claim deed.
So that's kind of where we're at, and I've got a list of those properties, and I'd be glad
Take care of the
to
question
share them.
back here.
I was just trying to get clear. It's a concept to help the veterans and find a way to work, partner with an organization that would build these, or are we looking for city funding to do the
I think
construction?
it's a multiple of ideas to do.
Just the concept. I mean, there are a lot of existing homes sitting vacant right now. Now, I don't know what the situation are behind them.
Well, if they're rehabable, they may end up falling into it.
Right, but I do understand the concept of having to change the ordinances to deal with the zoning issues. But,
Right, the current ordinance requires 900 square feet residence.
right.
So that would have to be adjusted down to accommodate a smaller home, either construction or pull it in on wheels, take the wheels away and set it.
But I would think the residents around one of those lots would have some input before you just did an ordinance change for a given property.
Right, it would have to go to the planning and zoning commission, come back to the council.
On a lot
There's
by
a
lot,
process.
on a lot by lot basis.
No,
No?
not necessarily.
Okay.
Do we have an area now, like, I don't know what's going on, like with the trailer park over here on Clay, or some acreage that we have that we can designate for that? First question, and second question, what about if they're brought in and they're on wheels, like you were saying, does that help with property tax? Does the city get property tax on that, or do they need to be on a foundation? Second.
The wheels need to go away, and then it needs to become a permanent structure on that property. And yes, the city would then get property taxes based on square feet.
Right.
Now, is the idea for them to own them or to rent them?
They won't
Actually-
own them. They won't own them.
It's actually for them to use until they acclimatize themselves to regular society and are ready to move on.
So it's like a step towards reacclimating into
Right.
the mainstream?
Right.
Okay.
And then the house or the building would become available for
For
another.
another bedroom.
So whoever owns that house, i.e. the city, we would be responsible for the taxes as well? So they would live there?
The property owner,
Okay,
Whoever the property owner is.
yeah, whoever.
and so they would live there basically rent-free?
Yes.
No income?
Well, that, in the beginning.
Okay,
That doesn't mean that later on they may not
as they
start
work?
paying rent and, you know.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, if the landowner builds a house and uses it for this, what's the advantage to them if they have to pay the taxes and they have no income from it?
Tax write-off.
Okay. Well, this year.
The discussion has started. It's
Yeah,
got a long
okay.
ways to go, a lot of questions.
Anybody else?
Thank you. Community organization updates. Do we have any reports from any community organizations? See none?
I can do chamber.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I can do chamber and Main Street, I guess.
Very good.
Main Street and Chamber are coordinating together again this year to do the volunteer night, which everybody is welcome to. It's a free night. We have finger foods and snacks. Hopefully we'll have some drink. I think approval's coming later on that in the meeting. But it's to recognize members of the community, organizations, different things that have volunteered throughout the year. Also, we have business recognition for milestone years. So if anybody knows of a business that's hitting their 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever, we also recognize them that night. So that's open to anybody to come in, it's free, so pass the word around, and it's down here at City Hall. So that's January 23rd, and we start at 6 o'clock with social time, and then program starts at 6:30, I believe. So April 1st is the Chamber Luck of the Draw, which is our scholarship fundraiser. It's always a great time. Tickets will be available soon. That is Saturday night, April 1st. And the theme is? The theme is, I'm not sure. Is it, oh, April Fool's, because it is the 1st. Yep. So, I know I'm not at that meeting. Then just for printing purposes and everybody to kind of keep in mind, the fair will be the 24th, 25th, and 26th of August. So we can kind of start planning for that and getting that on the calendar. We'll have stuff in between, but we'll bring those to a meeting another time. I don't have that.
Okay, thank you very much. Mayor's communication. Share with the council and the audience tonight that we have, as of today, the following candidates have filed for City Council. Ward 1, Angie Thomas and Elizabeth Weeks. Ward 2, Jim Nipko for a 2-year term. Karen Christensen for a 1-year term. Ward 3, James McDaniel. And Ward 4, Larry Clarkin. Filing deadline is Thursday. Tuesday, I'm sorry. What's the date on that? 17th. Okay. Also, recently, I was thrown into the lion's den when a letter to the editor in the Image credited me with sharing his desire to do away with O&M and Mr. Lerda. This David and 8 Goliath scenario is unimaginable until it appeared in print. I will not judge the personal or political motive held by those individuals choosing to bear false witness against me and sign the letter. However, I do solemnly swear that at no time have I initiated a conversation with any of these individuals stating my goal was to do away with O&M and Mr. Lerda. So help me God. Moving on the agenda, liquor license, liquor consumption, Holden Chamber of Commerce, awards banquet, as has just been mentioned. Chamber of Commerce Awards Banquet, as has been mentioned, January 23rd, 2017 at 6 o'clock. Do I have a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Christensen. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Nipko. Is there, well, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Also, we have application for city license to sell 5% beer, Holden Chamber of Commerce, which is the luck of the draw activity. Do I have a motion to approve that for the chamber?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Christensen.
No comment.
No,
I'm
Thomas.
sorry.
Comment.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Under resolutions and ordinances, bill number 717, an ordinance amending Section 76.485 pertaining to excessive noise. This will be first reading. We have had the police chief and the city prosecutor review the ordinance, as was designed by our city attorney. Is there any discussion on this ordinance tonight?
Did you read it? Sure.
I read it.
Yeah. You read the title.
Right. Okay. Any discussion? Okay. Ordinance 0717, an ordinance amending the municipal code of the city of Holden, Missouri, chapter 75. Offenses, amending section 76.485, prohibiting loud and unnecessary noises including spinning of tires or hydraulic-operated devices within the city limits and assessing fine for violation. Again, it's first reading, ordinance 0717. Any discussion? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve first reading?
I'll make that
Motion
motion.
by Parkin. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Christensen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Two noes. Two more.
Weeks.
Just weeks, yeah.
So do we need to do a roll call vote?
Not on first reading.
Not for green.
Okay, next we have bill number 0817, an ordinance authorizing and approving submission at the municipal election to be held April 4th, 2017. If the city can impose a sales tax of 0.5% for the purpose of providing funding for stormwater control and local parks and recreation for a term of 5 years. Tonight, we need first and second reading to get it on the April ballot. Any discussion?
It looks like we got the changes in there for recreation to be added to the wording of parks and recreation.
Yes, that's listed on the amended agenda, yes. Okay,
Still want to go into executive session afterwards to discuss the other part of this.
yes. Okay, bill number 0817. An ordinance authorizing and approving submission at the municipal election to be held April 4th, 2017, if the city can impose a sales tax of 0.5% for the purpose of providing funding for stormwater control and local parks and recreation for a term of 5 years. First reading, is there a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Christensen, is there a second? Second by Weeks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. One opposed. Aye. Motion carried. Second reading of bill number 0817. An ordinance authorizing and approving submission at the municipal election to be held April 4th, 2017, if the city can impose a sales tax of 0.5% for the purpose of providing funding for stormwater control and local parks and recreation for a term of 5 years. Second reading. Do I have a motion for second reading?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Parkin. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Christensen.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't know you.
I'm not here, your voices were so, I apologize. Okay, we have a first and second. Roll call, please.
Parkin?
Yes.
Seymour?
No.
Rader?
Yes.
McDaniel?
Yes.
Christensen?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Weeks?
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, under committee reports and all other business, we have any new business?
I'd like to make a statement on new business. Sure. Or old business, whatever you want to call it. When you swore on that Bible that you never made those statements, you thought they people to stand alive. And I don't appreciate that. And I'm saying for your incompetence in dealing with the city of Kingsville and a situation we could have, and for some other shortcomings, like trying to kill the bond on the lake that we, mandatory updates, I move that we remove you from office.
I would second that by adding on the motion, if passed, that Mayor Edwards be removed from office until the time that we can call a hearing for his impeachment.
Does the law work that way?
We have an attorney here, I'd have to reference to him for advice.
In a third-class city, the mayor can be removed, but it's on a vote of 2/3, and generally there is a hearing held, the charge is brought, and the mayor allowed to defend himself. That's the pleasure.
Is that after the vote? I mean, he would have a chance to have a hearing after the vote, as I see it.
I guess you can have a 2/3 vote to bring the charges and hold the hearings first, and then have the removal. I guess you could not go with that procedure if you want, but
I'd amend my motion to include that.
To include.
That we, as the, it was mentioned that it would, to have a hearing and to bring charges.
So you're making a motion to have a hearing, or to hold a hearing. To hold a hearing for an impeachment.
Yeah, to hold a hearing for impeachment.
that's county, that's city.
Or do we need to look up the laws or?
I can look at, I had no idea this was coming, but the general idea on third-class city is it's a 2/3 vote of all the members following charges in a hearing. It's a procedure I've been familiar with. And so, the mayor thinks he gets, that's by the vote of the citizens. I don't believe that's correct.
No, it's a 2/3 vote of the council. It takes six votes on the council.
Do we need to get a copy of the ordinance so we can look at it before we move forward?
I'd say we take the vote, look at the ordinance after.
I would suggest you get legal counsel prior to taking that drastic step.
He's here.
My conversation today with the county clerk indicates that you're out of order.
Did you get that in writing?
No, I got it by telephone call today. I didn't know that it was going to be coming tonight. I suspicioned something, but I didn't know for sure. And time was not, there to do that.
Can I speak, please? I know that I'm new to the council, and I came on board to do what's best for the city and for the citizens. And this tears me up that we're fighting like this, and it has come to this because we can't resolve our differences because people have personal vendettas against each other. And it hurts me to see our city pulled apart by whoever or whatever. And there's no common ground. People are not getting together.
No.
And I don't know if we can resolve it. Are we past the point that we can resolve it and put all this, lack of word, better word, hatred and distrust of each other? Is there anything we can do to repair this council and this, the citizens that I have been in contact this weekend? I got stopped at the grocery store 3 times telling me that the council is worthless, myself included, and the mayor, because all we do is fight. We're not doing anything for the city of Holden.
Let me add to what you're saying. I've been on the council, 3 years, whatever. And we've accomplished absolutely nothing on this council.
Well,
Nothing.
I have great respect for Rick, for where he's been and what he's done. And that's why I accepted and when he asked me if I would consider being on council. But I hear from residents, and they're frustrated. They're not just frustrated with the mayor, they're frustrated with all of
But
us.
you only got stopped 3 times?
Just on Saturday. Not to mention the phone calls and everything, but that was just Saturday morning and 20 minutes in the grocery store. Okay? That's how upset people are in this community. How can we repair this? Is it
I'm upset
repairable?
because we haven't addressed anything while I've been on this council. And the 3 things that I think that we should be addressing are probably crime, streets, and stormwater. That's the 3 things that have priority.
Well, I'm talking about the conflict between all the members of the council
Well,
and the mayor, and
why
not being here
That's
for the
why I
citizens.
moved to remove the mayor. That's
What are
the
we gonna
conflict,
do?
as far as I'm concerned.
Are we gonna come together and lead the city? Who's gonna lead us? Because there's no leadership here as far as I can see.
Exactly right.
And I don't mean it that Rick's not leading, it's just that nobody's working together and nobody's resolving anything because 2 people are here and 2 people are here and nobody's sitting here and people out here are saying, what are you guys doing? Somebody might like Mike and like what he says at the city council meetings, but they might get mad at the other people. That's okay, they can say that. But we're not resolving anything and we're not making this city any better. Myself included, and I know that I'm the newbie on the council. And maybe I'm outspoken, but I don't know what you all feel, but if some of the people that have come to me would speak here, then maybe everybody would hear it at the same time and hear the same thing.
May I speak?
Yes, I'm done, thank you.
Your record, guys.
In May of 2016, I submitted a complaint to the Ethics Committee in the state of Missouri because I believed that Mayor Edwards had violated the Roberts Rules of Order pertaining to motions that we are required by ordinance to follow. In that, a motion was passed with 3 votes of the council when there were 7 council members present. And my belief is based on the fact that according to Robert's Rules of Order, it requires 4 votes if the motion concerns any item that has a limitation or reservation within it. And the motion had to do with a letter from Lawler Law Firm Limited. And I believe in that letter there were limitations and reservations. And that was the basis for my submitting that complaint. Following that, Mayor Edwards chose not to speak to me, even when I spoke to him, for more than 3 months. Thank you.
And how did the Ethics Commission rule?
In talking with the chairman or the executive director of the Ethics Commission, he said they really didn't address the Roberts Rule question. They felt that the matter was not sufficient to warrant action. They did not even look into the basis of the complaint. And that was the executive director of the Missouri Ethics Commission that I spoke to personally.
And just for the record, you submitted your ethics complaint violation after the city attorney had approved that vote, had authorized that vote, and the council moved forward.
I beg to differ. I have an email in which Attorney Wilders said that the motion did not pass, his words in his email, this is Mr. Willard's email, but that an ordinance could be prepared that would require 4 votes. That is Mr. Willard's email. That's in writing.
Would require what?
The 3-vote motion did not pass, per Mr. Willard. However, an ordinance could be prepared that would require 4 votes to pass. Now, subsequent to all of this, there was an ordinance drafted, and it did pass.
Do we have a motion on the floor with a second?
I would like to speak since I've had a chance to look up the statute. Section 77-340 of the third-class cities on removal says that the mayor can be removed, but it is for cause shown by a vote of 2/3